Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yugioh Millennium Duels Best Decks, and today we're going to be looking at a Gravekeeper deck. Gravekeepers are pretty popular for being anti-meta decks. They restrict a lot of decks that work off of graveyard effects and stuff like that, which a lot of successful decks really rely on, such as mermails and stuff like that. So this deck is really good at restricting a lot of different options your opponent might have. You might want to try this out if you're having trouble with a particular person in your ladder playthrough on expert mode. You might want to try this deck out and yeah, see if you have any luck with it. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use Pot of Duality here to search out for our Gravekeeper's Commandant. That's a very important move that you're going to be wanting to make as soon as you possibly can, because the whole point of the deck is Necro Valley. It doesn't really function properly without Necro Valley out on the field. Excuse me. Necro Valley is going to be the first thing you want to look for. There's no point really in doing anything unless you have Necro Valley on the field, because it buffs up all your Gravekeeper's monsters a lot, which is very, very important, as well as it makes it so that your opponent can't move stuff around in their graveyard, as I'm sure you guys know. And it's really awesome because the buff that it gets is just enough to put the Gravekeepers over their lackluster attacks. A lot of them have like 1500, 1600, but with the 500 buff, they go up to around 2000, 2100, which is very important because that's kind of the range of the 4-star monsters that your opponent's going to be getting out right away. So it's very important that you have that buff before you try and do anything with it. Now we're going to have our field kind of full here. I'm expecting that trap card is going to make things a little bit more complicated, which of course it does. Compulsory Evacuation Device comes out, but it's not such a big deal. Even though we only have 1700 attack points and he has 1800, we can go ahead and we can use Book of Moon to put him in defense mode, being that now all I need to overcome is that 1000 defense point, which is no big issue. Now a lot of the times you want to you always want to trade in your Gravekeeper's Commandant for Necro Valley. There's no situation really where you wouldn't want to do that unless you already have. The only time I don't think I would do it is if I had Necro Valley on the field and another Necro Valley in my hand. That's probably when I wouldn't trade in my Gravekeeper's Commandant for the last Necro Valley. It's not such a huge deal. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put Gravekeeper Spy in defense mode again, although I'm pretty sure I'm going to use Gravekeeper Descendants effect to tribute those monsters and get rid of the back row, which is very, very important. The Gravekeepers can kind of get wrecked by stuff like Mirror Force. So you really want to play slowly with Gravekeepers, unless you have a completely open field. And with Solidarity, I also put Solidarity in this deck, just because I feel like Gravekeepers have a little bit of trouble getting over that attack point obstacle that they have. So Solidarity really helps them. It almost lets them breach the 3000 attack point gap with your normal monsters. So it's very, very useful. Now we're going to go ahead and get another Gravekeeper's Descendant into our hand. Because we used Gravekeeper Descendants effect and we tributed the Gravekeeper's Recruit, we can search through the deck for a Gravekeeper monster with 1500 or less attack, which is very, very important that you try and maximize the effectiveness of the Gravekeeper Descendant. You usually want to tribute your Gravekeeper's Recruit, because then at least you get something out of it. It's a card for a card, albeit it's one less on the field, but still that's going to be the best use of Gravekeeper's Descendants effect. So you always want to make sure you're maximizing your potential here. Now you can see that there's going to be another card face down the field. I kind of misplayed here, whoopsies, but it's also not that big of a deal. I'm going to put Solidarity down on the field, and I'm thinking that I don't think it's going to be Mirror Force, because otherwise I wouldn't be attacking right now. I kind of thought it might be the Fiendish Chain or like a Dimensional Prison or something like that, but it's also not the biggest deal. He's going to go ahead and he's going to Fiendish Chain that one, but we basically have the same, you know, it's going to make our field completely open. There's not much that he can do after that. So next phase, or next main phase, I'm going to be able to put down Gravekeeper's Commandant. Oh wait, I'm not, because I accidentally misclicked, and yeah, I'm stupid. A little bit of a spoiler alert there, but yeah, I'm pretty dumb. I forgot to go down, so it basically just ended up giving me another Necro Valley by mistake, but it's also not that big of a deal. Luckily I have exactly enough to get rid of my opponent's life points. So I'm going to go ahead and use Mystical Space Typhoon, get rid of that Fiendish Chain. Now we're A-OK to attack, and we're going to have exactly 5600 in damage to get rid of the opponent. In the recipe portion of this video, we're just going to go through pretty fast because Gravekeepers are pretty self-explanatory. Their effects are simple. So we're just going to really go over how many's in there. We have Gravekeeper's Assailant. This is a good card to deal with really high attack and low defense monsters, so keep that in mind when you're using him. He's good at taking out boss monsters. Gravekeeper's Commandant, like I said, you want to be trading this in for Necro Valley almost always. Gravekeeper's Descendant, your main form of removal in the deck, as well as comboing with Gravekeeper's Recruit for some searching capabilities. Gravekeeper's Recruit, like I said, 1500 less defense from your deck to your hand. Gravekeeper Spy, this is going to be your main way of special summoning. You usually want to get out your Gravekeeper's Descendant on the field. Gravekeeper's Visionary comes out when you're having trouble against a really high attack monster. It can give you the boost that you need to get over that obstacle. Book of Moon also helps out with high attack monsters, low defense monsters. Gravekeeper Stella allows you to refresh your hand. Space Typhoon. Necro Valley, pretty self-explanatory, all these things. Pot of Duality, there's going to be 3 of them. 2 solidarities because all the Gravekeepers are the same, so why not? Bottomless Trap Hole, Compulsory Evacuation Device, Dimensional Prison, Fiendish Chain, and we're going to have 2 Mirror Forces after that. After that we're also going to have a Solemn Warning, then we're going to have Torrential Tribute as the last card. There's no cards in the extra deck only because I was kind of rushing today. This video is a little bit late, but whatever. You can put whatever you want in the extra deck. Lavalval Chain comes to mind. Gem Knight, stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you guys like the deck. Try it out against some of the higher ladder CPUs and have fun. Goodbye!